Hi, past, present, and future homeowners. Welcome back to the Property Buyer's Guide. I'm your host, your homegirl. And today we have a returning guest, an economist from FNB Namibia, Helena. We'll be continuing from our discussion last week on property investment and diving deeper into the specifics of what makes a good investment property.
Hi, Justina. Thank you for having me again.
So, to kick things off, can you explain what exactly is an investment property?
So an investment property is usually bought for the purposes of generating income or making a profit rather than for own use, right? So when you live in a property, you're not able to rent it out, so you're not getting any income from it. But with an investment property, you're like buying a commercial property such as an office building, or maybe a shop that you want to rent out to generate income. Or it can be a flat, so a residential property for the purposes of somebody else living in it and giving you rental income. But it can also be a property that you buy to refurbish or renovate and then resell and then get a profit from the value that is
that you added from the renovation.
Exactly. So it's really a long-term, again, strategic decision, but it's an easy way to get profits.
Okay. And are you able to get a loan from the bank to purchase an investment property?
Yes, so you can get a loan just like a regular mortgage loan, and recently actually regulations were relaxed, so Namibians are able to buy their first investment property without a deposit, which is different from when a couple years ago where they had to pay a 10% deposit. So it is a good time to get into investment property.
Now, many people consider buying properties with additional features such as a backyard flat. Would you consider that to be a good choice in terms of, purchasing a property, looking for something that has a backyard flat?
Yes, it can be, depending on your needs and of course the location of the property.
Yeah.
It can be a good way, especially if you're living in a property, to have additional income, whether it's from a short-term basis, you could rent it out. It could also just be very useful for additional space, maybe to accommodate guests, and also just accommodate ailing
or like
parents.
Generational living, with your parents or your older children that won't move out.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen in the family. So
Exactly.
it's always great to have the extra space. But it's important to just consider the same things you would consider for any other rental property, right? So the location of the flat, how well it's maintained, the demand for that location as well, because that's going to have an impact on how much you'll be able to rent it out for, and whether or
not the quality of tenant that you can get in there.
Exactly, and how sustainable that tenant's income is, because again, you have the bond that you need to service, so you would need to make sure that the rental income is quite sustainable.
Or if you're in a key tourist area such as the coast, you can rent it out as an Airbnb or
exactly.
So you could get creative with the income generating tools there.
Exactly, and the short-term rental market is great right now because there's a lot of eyes and ears in Namibia. Namibia is a great tourist destination as well, so there is a market for short-term rentals and Airbnbs in Namibia.
Finally, Helena, what are the key characteristics that make a property a good investment? What should a buyer ensure they look for when looking for a property to make sure it's a profitable investment?
So a good investment property tends to have a good location appeal, right? So that means is it close to schools? Is it close to hospitals, other amenities? Are there shops around? Is the area filled with crime?
So location.
Exactly, and the quality of the neighborhood watch.
Indeed.
But it's also important to look for properties that have good appreciation value. So properties that are in urban expanding areas that might be increasing in value going forward, and just general cash flow. So the maintenance, as I mentioned, of the property versus the cost of the property, ensuring that is positive so that you actually make a profit from your investment.
Okay, makes a lot of sense. So we need to be buying investment properties.
I recommend so.
Okay. Thank you once again for sharing your valuable insights with us, Helena. For those of you tuned in at home, please don't forget to tune in next week as we dive into more property information.